Jada Samadiga and Kori and Koralada and the Karzagon Korean Nilizanare, Tishia, the Dalmondo Dogiri, Lee Jim Dizia, the Zode, Taram Rakan Betonishana, Dordinan Korala, Korean Nilang, Rasu Kaduina. I shut on non Nigi Sura the Nerki, Manso Rajinji, than the Shamatavaji, and the Raham maybe Tony, and it you, Tirgan Nanchi, Dina Soji, Tony, and it you now look a bit. Kapdida, Kansas with Jim Madavi Tony, I dinner Chara Mambu, Jimanas Ranga, Yonde. Or the dog, dinner, the dog, Kandiji, you want to get Jim Dick on the Samotango. You somebody. Lee Jim Diziade. Lee Jim Diziade, Karazaki, Tanging on Monlangazi, Kajas in Roja, Chibachi, Samotan Tony. Kunhoya, Hoji, Tony, Liga Garilena, Digi, Jivela, Dia Yunga. Aniki Kono negative the emotions in a ray, Kono Bijaji tone, Janla no simro, Janla napsimro, Ani Janla Jin Kunsimro, Dordina Ani, Ta Mariba on Chokori, Ranjinji Mashiva on Chokori, Yana Kanzini Chia Litazola, Janla no symptom, Nasim, Janla Jin Kunsim, or that in Riga Kononga tone, Lik Arikia in Anna, Jiola, Dinnerchikiva. Or the nigger remember the Samodandi, Lee Jim Dizekore. Lee Jim Digger more Shivi Tony, Tan Korean Nility, Korani Masunyo Yamba, Dinner Theatre, Jew Mergia Tenichua, Kano, Pichala Tenichuaji, Musen. Ani Korani Marasuki, Nyon the Deches Zeate, Sura Deva Zeate, young Jew and Mani Shay, Tanda Shaya, which Siamashiba, Nyaji, Shamba. The Nigla Teni Yuaji Yimba and Yimbi, Nilindo, Lee Jim Digaton, Samoda. The Nijin Koala, Korean Niliti, Hagwa, and Kuni Pansi Chikila, Rondo, Tony. Tan Korean Dinga, Torgo, Yonani, the Muji Lamki, Rambazia, the Navasaki, Yamling Mula, that the dog Niton Hago, Tony, Tamotanjo, Nika Hago, near Martapa and Bahako, somebody Lee Jim Digan Mo Hago. Jeva de la Dan Kori Dingerk, Ranjin de Hago, Tony, Dan Kurali to have Tamus, and the Lamla Giganza, and the Mundo Lam Jirimbazi, the Nijimundo.
When you miss on some vision.
Uncle Nimundo.
Yes. Third point, cause and effect, or law of causality or karma. Here, this cause and effect precept is meant to kind of help us to understand. The reality of cyclic existence or samsara. As mentioned before in the earlier point, by nature of impermanence, as a human being, the four very common sort of suffering that we undergo, birth, aging, illness, death, and dying. And those are very common. But then on top of that, again, there are many different, depending on individual, we each has our own problems and, difficulties that we encounter. And so when we encounter these different problems and then understanding, what are the causes, what could be the causes. And basically we come down to kind of 2 points, with good intention, if he creates actions that benefits others, the result is happiness. And likewise, with negative intention, maybe whatever that might be, hatred, anger, covetousness, jealousy, ignorance, and if the, and the result is suffering. So, positive action, happiness, negative action, suffering, coming down into that kind of cause and effect precepts. And so, with that knowledge, then we can here also kind of go on to the fourth point. The fourth point is understanding the true, suffering of cyclic existence. As long as we are bound by the, karmic action or conditioned, we are not liberated, in cyclic existence. So, we have to follow all this cycle of, suffering. And so, at the end here, having going through these 4 processes, which as I mentioned before, one of the preliminary, and when you come to the realization that I want to free from this cycle. And then that will take you to what we call the actual practice in Buddhism. And then you sort of finish the chapter of preliminaries, and now you go on to the actual practices in Buddhism.
어제던다 강지건다 뭐 뒤서 되는 게 맞도 매인다 단도지나 저한테 대한 가린냐인데지나 문도 초기를 받던데 되다 아니 남지를 맞지제 되 망도디 하고는 그거를 맞이 때때 판 도거리도 소소 삼노도 나가서 뒤서시랑 문도 맞도 때즈 사원도 이해는 하버드 판 도거리 옛날 때즈 판야 그래가요 되니지 토네 아니 난 남비 지마 전선데 대랑 용한도 저기 남비 문도제 되다 뎁되는 거는 통선나 완전 문도제 돼 소지 뭐마 소소 냐인데 니 인사리 삼야가 삼도 토네니 뎁되는 로아에나요 델리 니 마히야 되니 이가 되니 마보야 지마 아니 하고 탁거리 되니 그래가요 어디네 단 대랑 삼만 되리지 한 삼야고라
저를 드셔요.
So
with that, Geshe said we will stop here for today. Basically, what we covered in preliminary practices, the 2 points. The first is preliminary with related to ceremony or ritual. Under that, we talk 7 limb practices, and then second, preliminary with related with the stages or path. Under that, we talk 4 points. So. You just said, hopefully this will help, maybe even just a little bit, And in future, if you read a book about, of course, there are lots of resources. If you read a book, at least you will have some idea that, this is what I heard from that particular teaching. So we'll stop here for today, and you can, if you have any questions, you can ask now. No, any questions?
Question, Krishna. What is the exact proper way for a physical prostration? And what are you saying during it? I mean, I know what I do, but, what's the proper...
차지단 원내는 유다 지구나 고에도 거기서 차지단 줘라. 이건 데도 그래서 차야 고신서 세세를 땜배 차지단 줘라.
다시한사고 반영도 되네 마음을 쉬우게 다 사단데 가는데 내래 문이지나 쉬우당 점바당 아니 냥가지 내가도 문이지나는 나즈가 홍세 교주 디근 소신 도르디나니 리당 나당 예스는 손돌라 다소지 링아 예스는 기geb지기온 손비제데 쉬어라 라바니가 탈모자니지야 아니 디가르진 점바라야 아니 나간 sabro데 냥가라디 퇴근삽 데니지네 아니 내가 예성근 손돈도 이 토네 아니 리장모지니 컴퍼니가 양 장모야 리양 장모지 토네 아니 라바니야 타모야네 마야디 지금 다 실람로들이 상사 다디 바용도 되냐 자심모 마모시야
So
다단로들이 다단
the way of doing a prostration, Geshe is saying that the way we usually do, we folded our hand and then first stand up straight, and then we touch 3 parts of the body, beginning with the tip of the head and then to the throat and then to the heart with the folded hand. And when we do that, one way of interpretation is, the 3 mantras, Om, Ahum, Om, Ahum, which represents basically, the body, speech, and mind. And when you do that, you are kind of, expressing physical, verbal, and mental kind of respect or, venerations to whoever that you are doing a prostration. So with that, kneel down and then, touch the flat palm to the floor, and then with your forehead, so touching the 5 parts of the body. So that is the most common ways of doing a prostration physically.
Thank you.
I'm afraid I didn't quite catch standard practices 5 and 6, the appealing for teachings. What I have written, what I wrote down here was helping others accumulates positive merits. Is that close there?
5 and 6. Yala do bagay nga wala chukwa parang takda ko na manalo do. Nga wala chukwa ko yala ro. Chukwa de sowa de baro.
아래 선도
Yang ngel me da sowa da bare. 쇼고고 제니 소대보다 양을 매다 소다보다.
어다 냥아 리만다 소다 바테리 아다다 주디야 주디린도 냥아 리만다 소다 바
So Geshe said to make it more kind of precise, number 5 is, in one word we can say, making a request to give teachings. Sometimes we say a more kind of elaborate
တိုင်းရှင်
way,
တို့ဆိုကြည့်ရအောင်တော်တော်ရ
requesting to turn the wheel of Dharma. Basically, it means requesting to make to give teachings. That's number 5, and number 6 is to make it more kind of clear. Basically, you are requesting, but to stay enlightened beings forever or for a long time. So both number 5 and 6 is making a prayer, but number 5 is to give teachings, while number 6 is to stay for a long time or to stay forever.
Thank you.
ဒီလာနေအောင်냥아 리만다ကြီးဆိုရှင်းကြစင်ပြောလို့ခြင်းမရေပါနာရေကြောညံပါမယ်ပေါ်ရကိုနေကုန်တော်ဘေဝရောညံပါဘောကျတဲ့ခြင်းပါတော့ကွန်တော်ဆောင်တရားတည်ရတဲ့တေတော်ပင်ကြီးကြည်စုံတော်ဂေဝန္တတော်ဓမ္မကြရတ်Oh yeah, thank you.
Thank you.